starting off in 15-second increments. And we have boats with the slow seated times heading out. For 3, we have Liquid La Prem. Now on the water. Running on their first 500 meters. It's essentially a time trial on the water. 3rd boat out, we have the VIP Gorging Dragons. And coming out to the Falls Creek Racing Canoe Club, Premium Mixed. Well off for their first 500 meters. Followed by NDRC Yellow. Good quick starts on the water. And they're followed from Montreal H2 Arsenal Premier Mixed. Next one up from Vancouver, the Juice. And followed by the Outer Harbor Warriors, well out of the water. Followed quickly by 22D Premier Mixed. And the True North Hammerheads. Again, a chance at the major final championship race in Toronto several weeks ago. First place, great race. And finally we have the New Dragons Racing Club. And again, with me I have a veteran coach, paddler, steers, and again a member of the Dragon Boat Canada Hall of Fame with me. Just very briefly, Jim, we have in the water, we have 2 referee boats, and just very clearly, there are specific roles during the course of the race.
Yeah, Tony, the boat that's in the middle of the course right now, closest to the turn, will be observing the turn, looking for any infractions, anybody closing lines, doing things that are inappropriate so that they can give a decision as to what they saw to the judges. If indeed something has to be dealt with, either in terms of bonus or time penalties, that sort of thing. The other crew that's a little further up the course, about 75 to 100 meters from the turn, is the crew that watches to see whether a boat has been covered, which means when a pursuing boat is coming up on a lead boat, if the front of the boat is able to cover, be inside of a boat length of the tail of the lead boat, then the lead boat has to stay wide and give the pursuing boat the right of way on the corner. The lead boat has to follow a line that's wide enough to give them room. And so the decision as to whether that has to happen or not is the call of the judge. As I said, it is about 75 meters from the corner. You can see right now as the first crew comes, the judge is now looking. And of course, at this point in the race, the crews are all still well spaced out, so that's not an issue right now. But later on, it may be.
Of course, during the latter part of the race, I would imagine probably the crucial point is in the final turn when the crews are starting to get tired. I'm sure is a huge effect. But again, in this race at 2,000 meters, again, this is an obvious question, but obviously cardio, of course, is a critical component of this event.
Absolutely. Crews, when they train, do different types of training, different kinds of interval work, distance work to prepare themselves for the 3 race distances. But the 2K is absolutely a speed endurance type of workout. It's largely aerobic, but there are pulses of anaerobic effort in the pieces. Obviously the start, but even as they come around the corner, come off the corner, and try to rebuild speed, you will see crews trying to accelerate. it's almost like doing a start as they're moving. So there are degrees of anaerobic effort that have to be placed. But 90%, actually more than 90% of the race is aerobic. And longer pieces, still at a high level of intensity, are what you'll see in preparation for it. Here comes our two crews coming up. You can see a crew behind coming up to where they may be covering the crew in front and thereby have the right of way on the corner. So the crew behind will be able to take the inside line. The crew ahead has to stay wide to be able to allow them that space.
Right, and as you can see, we've got a really good turn on that crew, of course, giving space to the crew on the inside now, and the inside lane, beautifully done. Turns, of course, are critical, and of course, your lengthy experience as a steers person. What is, maybe 2 or 3, what are some of the top mistakes that perhaps a new steers person might make during the course of a 2K race, or mistakes that they should be avoiding?
I think the biggest mistake is not giving the crew that's pursuing particularly enough room. So if you close the line too quickly, you can cause a collision, and that generally not only will affect the crew that's pursuing you, but quite often crews will stack up, and 2 or 3 crews can be involved in a collision. Collisions are always dangerous, so there can be an issue of somebody getting hurt. So we're generally trying our best to make sure that that doesn't happen. But calmness in the person in the back is a pretty important part as well. So the heightened effort and exhorting them that might, you hear say in a 200 or even in a 5, a little bit of a calmer demeanor I think is probably the best way to approach getting the best out of the crew in a 2K. So those are some things that new steers people have to think about.
Right, thank you, Jim. Now coming into the final 500 meters, and I know I speak from experience, having raced not at 2,000 meter level, but I do remember, I think it was a race that you sponsored years ago, 3,000 meters, and I remember the final 500 meters. Good thing that right now we've had a bit of cloud coming in. It has cooled off a little bit. We aren't getting a lot of direct sunshine today. But certainly, now what are some of the thoughts going through the head of some of the paddlers in the final 500 meters?
Well, like anything, it's like running a mile and getting into the last lap of a mile on the track. Because it's a familiar distance, some crews go back and almost pretend like it's a 500 race plan. So exhorting yourself to find those final levels of effort when you're already tired is part of the big mental challenge. But generally crews build a lot of teamwork, camaraderie, so the need to really help each other. So not only look inward, but make sure that your teammates are being supportive. Doing it together is a big part of that last straightaway.
And another obvious question, and I know I'm certainly aware of this from my background as a dragon boater, but certainly my background as a marathon runner, that a good degree of cardio fitness, of course, has a great bearing on one's mental focus during the course of a race.
Yeah, it takes time, it takes years to be able to build the confidence that you can go hard the whole way. It's just a natural tendency to sort of to play it a little bit safe, but the best crews don't. They go absolutely after it. If you look at this first crew coming in, you can look at the intensity of effort. They're working really, really hard, and so there'll be nothing left in the tank when they hit that finish line.
Right, thank you, Jim. And we have the crews coming in, final 500 meters. So again, the faster they paddle, the louder you cheer, the faster they paddle. Let's give them a great round of applause. 2,000 meters on the water, and great to get the clouds coming in, beginning to cool things off a little bit. The breeze coming in from the south, but a great effort. 2,000 meters on the water, our premier standard 2K. Well, once again, this has been essentially a time trial for each of the boats. We will have the results once again on our website, results.dragonboat.ca. 42. Again, we'll have two divisions, Premier and our Senior B mixed small 2K. Well done to all of our teams. 2,000 meters done in the water. I'm sure deserving of a well-earned rest. Well done. And to all of what's today, again, that's certainly a big shout out to all of our fans in the stands, to all of our crews. Well deserved. Good work.